Trudy? No.
The contacts that you're suggesting are with moderates in the Iranian government and in the Iranian system. Barry Goldwater tonight said in his judgment there are no moderates in Iran. I don't mean to suggest that there may not be, but how did you know that you were reaching the moderates, and how do you define a moderate in that kind of a government?
Well, again, you're asking questions that I cannot get into with regard to the answers, but believe me, we had information that led us to believe that there are factions within Iran, and many of them with an eye toward the fact that they think sooner rather than later there is going to be a change in the government there, and there is great dissatisfaction among the people in Iran. Trudy?
President, can we turn to U.S.-Soviet relations for a moment, please?
I'd be delighted.
Your chief arms negotiator, Max Kampelman, said that as a result of your meeting with Mr. Gorbachev in Iceland, that there indeed were substantial results in agreements. But the leadership in the Soviet Union say that there were no results, nothing positive, and the area is widely scattered still. How do you propose in your term, in the remainder of your term, to close the gap and bring for an agreement?
Well, Trudy, the thing is about that situation, they're not widely scattered. All the agreements or the apparent places where we agreed at Reykjavik are on the table now with our arms negotiators in Geneva. And for the first time, there was an agreement reached on the desirability of eliminating all strategic nuclear missiles in a 5-year period, and then dealing with the intermediate range missiles in Germany. And just before the meeting broke up was the first time that it had always been our purpose, and it was our purpose when we went there, to see if these are the destabilizing weapons. These are the weapons that people in their mind can picture. Someone pushes a button and a lot of places blow up. And we always thought that if we could make a start on those, the destabilizing missiles, and then we could work on to the other nuclear weapons, bombs carried by airplanes, and so forth. And we had gone there with the express purpose of seeing if we could arrive at some kind of a settlement on one or the other of these other two missile types. And it was just before the meeting broke up that for the first time they suggested that they were talking about all weapons, nuclear weapons, not just the others. Well, there was no time for us to discuss then this new force that was in there. But I think Mr. Kampelman was saying right, that I just called to your attention that never in the history of the Soviet Union has a Soviet leader ever publicly proposed eliminating weapons they already have. And this Soviet leader has. He has talked actually of totally eliminating them. And so the only thing I can say to this is I know they're difficult to deal with, but all I can say is they're still at the table in Geneva, and the proposals are still there, so I continue to be optimistic.
I want to follow up. Do you think you're going to see Mr. Gorbachev again during your term, or do you think he's thinking that he'll wait for the next president to negotiate an arms control agreement?
Well, I have to believe there's reason for optimism, because he himself suggested the Iceland meeting as a forerunner to the summit that was supposed to take place in the United States.